So hi, I'm Jeff Leisawitz. I'm here with brownpapertickets.com. I'm also the author of Not Effing Around, the No Bullshit Guide to Getting Your Creative Dreams Off the Ground. I love talking to creative types. Here's my man Andrew. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right, it's going great. So, what do you do? What's your thing?
I'm the artistic director here at Jet City Improv. So that's kind of the main core job that I do. Jet City Improv is a company that I co-founded back in 1992. So I've been continuing to do it for a long time. So we're about a $650,000 a year nonprofit. We have 6 full-time people, core staff of about 40 main actors that are part of the core company. And we do 5 to 6 shows a week, 52 weeks a year.
That's a lot of shows.
Lots of stuff, yeah. A lot of things.
That's pretty awesome. So how do you get into improv?
I got into it actually before I had moved to Seattle many, many years ago. I got my undergraduate in theater from Temple University. So I did that, and then I worked for a little bit around Philadelphia and was really interested in creating your own work. As far as I'm concerned, actors, a lot of the time, what they teach you to do is they teach you all this craft and they teach you to sit by the phone and wait. So you end up basically putting your financial future and your artistic future in someone else's hands. As opposed to, no, go do something. Right? Put some friends together, read a play, go create something. So I wanted to create my own theater, and that was one of kind of the ideas that I had. At that time, 1990, Seattle was the place. And it still sort of is. They still say there's more working actors per capita in Seattle than there are anywhere else in the country, because there's a lot of stuff happening.
Sure.
So I moved out here and then did a couple other things, and then met up with Mike, and he and I started Jet City Improv.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, crazy.
That's fantastic.
It's weird.
And now it's like 20-some years later, you're like, what?
Right, exactly. And now it's sort of the job.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you are the kind of guy who creates his own opportunities.
It's the idea.
Can you speak more on that? What do you do to create opportunities? Or, what if you were talking to an actor out there?
Yeah.
How do you create an opportunity?
There's a lot of different ways that sort of you need to think about going about creating an opportunity, but most importantly is you got to go about doing something. This is one of the biggest rules I teach when I go out and do workshops for corporations, and I talk to them about how to improve their communications. And one of the big steps is, how do I do it? Just do it. Am I doing it right? Yes. Because it literally is about, what are you doing? And that was a rule that I kind of learned from some people in Chicago who were talking about how to do things on stage, but I think it happens with life. The truth is that you want to do something, just do it. Am I doing it right? Well, yeah, you are, because you're doing it. And then if you didn't do it right, oh wow, what did you learn? You learned something, so now do it again or do something else. But if you stop yourself from doing something, you're not doing anything. So do something. Is it going to be wrong? Maybe. Oh well, do something else. You just have to do things. I know it's simple, but it's like you got to do stuff.
It's true.
Right.
It's totally true.
Right.
When you break it down to something so simple, it sounds so obvious,
right?
But people get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people get stuck too on the big idea. Like, okay, I'm gonna have a TV show on this. Great. What's step 1? Oh, I have no idea. Well, I don't know either, but start to think about it. Okay, well maybe I should start filming myself. Maybe I should start doing this. Maybe I should start talking to some people who've done TV shows before, and then they could help me. Like, just take one step, and then take another one, and then take another one. Are you going to end up with a TV show? Maybe not, but you'll end up with something, and it'll be crazy, and you'll love it. So,
Cool.
It's about the process, not the end result.
That's cool, man. You are totally NFL. I love it. This is like right on. Yes, exactly. Okay, so cool. So, what have been some of the highlights of your creative career so far?
For me, some of the highlights have actually been not listening to the rules of how things happen. I think that's why I like improv too, is it's sort of here's this, and even in the sense of how they teach improv, they teach rules. And the whole idea is that, well, do those rules make sense? And when do you break the rules? And I agree that you need to learn a structure so that you can be, okay, and now I got a structure. But now your job is to press against that structure in order to go up. Because for me, that's where those big things have happened, where all of a sudden it's like, well, you never do this on stage. Okay, well, what happens if we do? What happens then? One of the things we started pioneering when we first started doing long form was always, once again, I'm going to get my suggestion from you, thanks, and now what I want you to do is sit back and shut up while I do my art on stage. No, this is a dialogue between an audience member and an actor, and we have the capabilities to keep talking to them and keep getting input and keep changing the show. So why wouldn't you do that? So we pioneered a couple forms doing that, and now we even get to the point where in the middle of a show, people will just walk down the aisle and they'll be talking to someone else there, and then they'll just stop and start talking to an audience member, ask them a question, get that answer, and then use that to move forward into the next piece of the show. That to me is beautiful. It's seamless between what the audience is doing and what the actors are doing, and nobody knows, and we're all going to create it together. So I love that, those things where people say, here's the rule. Well, that's not going to work. I'm going to find something different. And I mean, also, I have an undergraduate degree in theater. I have an MFA from the University of Washington in drama as well. And the first thing that everybody tells you is, you're never going to make a living in the arts. So just don't bother. You're never going to make a living. Don't bother. Well, yeah, I kind of have. So, so I don't mean to say fuck you, but but it's like, if you tell me I can't do it, then I'm going to do it. And I'm going to find out a way to do it. It may not be conventional, it may not be the way you're thinking, but I'm going to do it. So for me, that's always kind of the challenge of like, oh, I can't do it? Now what?
Sounds like you got some of that punk rock spirit stirred in there.
A little bit. Like, figure it out. So I love those things. I love when people say, no, that's not possible. Okay, great. Now let's figure out how we can make it possible.
Hell yeah.
I know that's kind of a big idea for the answer to the question. Sorry about that.
No, that's perfect. That's
okay.
Great. So improv as an art form and life as an art form, I suppose, right?
Right.
What do you love about it, and how does it transfer between the two?
I mean, I kind of need to... I'll back up on one piece first and then go forward.
Yeah.
One thing we've talked about a lot is that people go to see a movie, and it's like, oh, I hated that movie. I'm never going to go see a movie again. No, you go see other movies. You go to see a play, oh, I hated that play. I'm never going to go see plays again. No, I'll go see a different one. But if people go to an improv show and they hated it, they will say, I hate all improv. I'm never going to an improv show again. For some reason, it has this delineation of that's it. And I think it has to do with just the concept of fear. There is this inherent fear in an improv show. You're going to pick on me. You're going to make me say something. I don't know what's going to happen. And so there's this fear, and yet people go through their everyday lives not knowing what they're going to say, and they just say it. So I don't understand that disconnect. That all we're doing is just putting that on stage. It's the same thing you do in any conversation that anybody does. We all just talk, and then we listen, and then we respond. Oh, and that made me think of this, so now I'll say that. And we just do that on stage. So for me, there's that weird thing of I don't understand why there's so much fear, because if you were that fearful of it, how do you get out of bed in the morning? How do you go through your life? It's the same thing we're doing. So, and the lessons, we talk all the time about what the lessons of improv are and what those things are. How do I accept and build on everything that people give me? And how do you do this? Yeah. I mean, those are great. The biggest one for me, I think, more than anything else, is that everything that someone says is an offer. Even when that offer is no. Cool. That's a great offer. Thank you. Now I know that I can do that, or I can do something else, or I can do this. And it's really just, it's almost that, for me, improv and life, kind of those pieces together is what you internalized. And for me, I always internalize that no matter what someone says, I can take that and I can use it.
Totally.
Doesn't matter. Just be open to it.
Absolutely.
And the only person shutting me down on that is me.
The only people shutting anybody down generally is us,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How about another lesson of improv? You want to hit me with one of those?
Ooh.
Improv and life.
Wow, all right. Another lesson on improv. For me, I think one of the key things was just how you listen and the way you listen. And not just listening in the sense of, I listen and I can hear what you're saying. That's great. But listening is all of those other pieces too. I might hear what you're saying. If you're this way, doesn't matter what you're saying. I tell CEOs this all the time when they're going. So making sure that the full picture is in alignment when you're saying something. I'm really excited to be here. It's been a really wonderful, wonderful time. And I'm looking forward to the way that, really, are you? So how do you get fully in alignment? And I think for me, the biggest thing between improv and life was how much you listen when no one says anything. What those things are that make you go, oh, what are they doing? What's that thing? What's that
really trying to say?
Right, what are they really trying to say? Or even, what am I hearing that isn't verbal? What am I perceiving that is the way you feel about where we are? All those little tiny things. And that to me, I think, was just sort of eye-opening.
It's a big skill.
Yeah, it's fun too.
Yeah.
It's cool. But then that helps you with the reading the audience,
Yeah.
You're reading where people are. Are they watching you here? Or are they watching you here?
Right.
Or when you suddenly hear an entire audience go, and they all lean up a little bit, and it's like, yeah. Physically, they're just responding in some way. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was great. Okay, so what actions, so you get a lot of stuff done. You strike me as a guy who gets a lot of stuff done. So what actions or strategies do you take to complete your goals?
Good one. I kind of have a thing that I've been working on when I'm speaking as well to groups about not planning, however, just preparing. And the reason for that is I feel like my entire life, as things have happened, was this the actual goal that I was trying to reach? Yeah, we're close to there. However, did we get here this way? No, we got here this way, and we got here this way. And if at any given moment I had gone, I'm off the plan, forget it, then I'd only be there. As opposed to, I don't know, let's figure out the other way and just keep going, and it ends up somewhere. So for me, the biggest thing is the figuring out how, no matter what it is, that can work towards the goal. Oh, okay, wow, that's a major wrench thrown in it, and that's not going to work. Now what? Well, let's see how that helps to get to this spot. And that comes into life too, just with, there's always going to be shit that happens in life. There is.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just,
right.
Right. And so how do you use it? Even though it is awful. It's like you can't deny something that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one from improv more than anything else I find. When someone comes out and they say something on stage, that happens. The audience sees it, it's real. And then another person comes out, and if they go, no, that's not it, it's like, okay, well, you just denied reality. Because the reality was there, and we all saw it. And I think people do that in their lives, too. Oh, okay, well, this bad thing happened to me. Well, you know what, we're not going to talk about it. Why not? It happened. You can't deny reality. It happened. So you deal with it, you use it to move on, and you go from there, even though it was shitty. Whatever it was. You can't deny it. It happened. You have a choice. You can either choose that it happened or you can choose it didn't. If you choose it didn't, well then you're kind
still
of
did.
Right, it still did. Didn't happen, it still did. Welcome to the way time moves forward,
So true.
So, those kind of things. Like, I just think it's more about just taking what actually happens and then leads you to that spot. So strategically, to get back to your question, I don't know if there is real strategery in the way that I think about stuff. More than it's like, oh, okay, cool, well, that's really cool. Let's see what little steps I could take to get there. Oh, what did I find out here? And maybe that led me somewhere else. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know if it's so much strategery as much as it is, let's take another plotting step forward. Hey, cool.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So part of this book and part of my personal philosophy, I guess, has a sort of spiritual element to it. So some people, when they are looking to create their goals, they do things like the dream board, if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
Or meditate or visualize or those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Any of that part of your experience?
Yeah, and actually the visual part of it more than anything else, because I've found that I've had a lot of people who go like, let's identify these things and let's write it down. That's wonderful. That's great, but that's still words. For me, it's the picture. And even if it's the picture that like you cut out of a magazine, or you took a picture of something somewhere and you're like, yeah, I want to have a garden someday that looks like that. The visual is more powerful for me than it is about even writing it down. I am going to have a garden that has flowers, that just still doesn't even translate. I need to see it.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's great, whatever works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so let's see here. We already answered these questions, so that's good.
Bam, 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 bam.
Okay, so I think I know your answer for this, but
All right.
I'll try it anyway. Have you succeeded in every goal you've ever set?
Oh, God, no. No. And sorry, was that too? I feel like, too, sometimes the goals that you set are, sometimes you don't even know what the goal is that you're setting. And this is kind of one of the things I talk about all the time, too, of you set a goal, but you may not even know what your real goal was. You haven't gotten down to the point of what you really wanted, which was comfort, or the ability to buy coffee whenever you wanted to, or even that little tiny thing, whatever that is. That's what you really wanted. You didn't really want this job. You didn't really want this. You didn't really want that. You wanted this. And so I think it's hard to say, did you ever reach any, all the goals? Because I think sometimes the goals we have are things that aren't really the articulation of what we wanted.
That's absolutely
You
true.
get what you want, but you don't get what I mean,
Right.
I moved to New York I finished graduate school here in 95 and then left and went to New York for about 6 months and was literally trying to get into soap operas because I was, I'm currently 220 pounds, but I was about 180 pounds and, pretty like lean look, hair down to the shoulders, full on like I am going to be on soap operas. It's what I want to do. I'm an improviser. This would be great. Really? No, it's not anywhere near But that's like you set out some sort of a goal, like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then after a while, you're like, no, it's not really what I want to do.
Yeah, that's true. And something I talk about in the book also is what do you love and why do you love it?
Yeah.
You want to speak on
That's
that?
it. I think that's exactly it. It's defining why you love it, which then goes to, okay, once you've seen that, does that actually mean that's what you wanted? And even going further than that, there's the one that I talk about in companies all the time is the Toyota 5 whys. When there's something wrong, they will ask, why is that? And then whatever that answer is, they ask, why is that? And then that answer, they ask, why is that? And the thing is, by the time you get down to the 5th why, you realize that there's a process that's wrong, or there's something else that's there. But all you're doing is getting to more clarity, so that then you're actually clear about what you want, rather than, no, I wanted this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. So stepping back a little bit with the failures, what have you learned from your failures?
Ooh, kind of everything.
Great answer.
It is. It's the biggest thing. And then also, I think the biggest thing that we all sort of struggle with so much is even the word, you're going to say failure, right? That's going to suck, right? Oh my God, failing is going to suck. Yeah, it won't kill you. You'll be okay. And in fact, you'll learn from that, and then you'll move on. If you're afraid of failing, then you're afraid of doing anything. So for me, every time that I've failed has actually been the time that goes, oh, all right, well, let's step up and do that. Great, that's cool.
Okay, so when you do hit these hurdles,
Yeah.
these big challenges, and sometimes get knocked down, what do you do sort of internally, I guess, to push forward or figure out a solution? What is it in you that does that?
There's something about finding whatever it was that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And even in something that doesn't work completely. I mean, if something spectacularly fails, you can still look at it and go, all right, well, what did we do? What happened? Here's these things that happened. Here's these things. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know I could do that. Or I've never done that before, and I figured it out and researched it, and I did it. And then if you can figure out what actually happened and the positive things you learn from it, then you can start to go, oh, well, maybe that means I should be moving in this direction. For me, it's always that sort of, here's what I like about that. And looking at that for the next step.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this about that. Cool. You got to find something in it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. So let's talk about comfort zone. You don't strike me as a guy who sticks to the comfort zone. But I could be wrong.
Right. Well, I think we all sort of stick to a comfort zone somewhere, and it depends on what that is. Like I've been living in the apartment now that my wife and I live in, and we've been there way too long. We should have left this a while ago. We should have bought something and left it a while ago. But we're not, because it's like, it's comfortable. There's a restaurant downstairs. We'll just go downstairs and eat. It's so much easier, right? So you just...
I want to move into that.
Right, exactly. You sort of get to this level of, I'm comfortable here, and I'm not going to push that a little bit. And I think finding out that you're comfortable and realizing that you're comfortable, then you can make that choice to go, do I want to continue to do this, or do I want to do something else? And sometimes the answer is, yeah, I want to continue to be comfortable because I'm going to push in other areas and do this.
Okay, so what about in the creative career, the comfort zone as an artist, as an actor, as a businessman?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially here. I mean, even we're doing improv theater, but at some times you start to go, well, yeah, I know how the show runs, so I'm not going to think about it. Really? Yes, it's the same show we've been doing for 23 years. However, what if we could update it? What if we could change something in it? What if we decided to design something brand new and did it? And that's difficult for a lot of people. Even this next year, we have been doing Jet City Improv Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 since 1992. As we go into our next season, I am taking away one of those Saturday night 10:30s and putting in brand new shows that we've created that are a little bit edgier, a little bit weirder, so that Jet City Improv will play at 8 o'clock on Saturday, and then at 10:30 will be this other show. The goal is that audiences can come to a show on 8 o'clock and then go, you know what? There's a show at 10:30 afterwards. Why don't I just grab a drink and then come back? And to do that and to really get into that idea of it's never going to be that same show twice. It's going to be something else. That change fundamentally made a lot of people go, you can't do that. I mean, we've been doing the show on that time slot for 23 years. You're going to take it away? Yeah, I am. And you know what? It might fail horribly. And if it does, then we go, oh, well, that fucking didn't work, now what? And then you do something else. However, we've got to try. And I can either look at numbers that don't appear to be moving forward and audience members we don't appear to be getting, or I can go, let's put something in here that sees if it can get bigger. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not here to serve what the audience wants to see, then why are you doing it?
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Good luck. When does that start?
It starts again soon. October.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so here's another aspect to drama, to art, to creativity. It seems like there is a healing or therapeutic element to the whole thing that a lot of people get out of that. Do you find a healing or therapeutic element to what you do?
Yeah, very much. I mean, even I've stepped away a little bit right now from performing a lot, so I only am on every once in a while. Those times after I have been able to do a show, I sleep better that night. I am happier about life in general afterwards. And what is that about? Is it about I got to get on stage and actually make people laugh, which was great and made me feel good. I like to think also it's providing something for that audience. Here's a bachelorette in the audience who is so scared, doesn't want to be called on stage, doesn't want to be pointed out, and yet 3/4 of the way through the show is willing to yell and scream and stand up and dance around. It's like, great. Good. So we changed this experience for you, and we changed where you are with that fear, and you walked out of here going, this is the best night of my life. And the fact that I got to facilitate you having the best night of your life makes me feel really happy. And that to me, I think, is more than anything else. A couple different things on the company besides performances. We do education programs, adult continuing education. And then we also do outreach. We do free weekly classes for incarcerated youth. We do free weekly classes for at-risk youth as well. We've also been doing, during the summer, we do a series of summer camps for kids who are going through cancer treatments, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, all kinds of different foundations. And that, again, is one of those pieces where it's like, yeah, you can come and do shows, and that's great, and people love it, and, you know, we're making the best night of their lives. And there's also for free, we get to drive out to a camp and perform for a bunch of kids who've been severely burned. And you watch them just having this amazing experience, and we're doing it for free. We don't care. We want to do it. That's why we're doing it, you know? And I feel like that's, again, where it's you have a choice of doing something because you want to do it, or doing something because it either makes you money or moves your career forward to doing this. And you got to do stuff because you want to do it. And you get so much out of that. I mean, those shows are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Very cool. When you do those, do you do workshops with them, or is it just performances?
Sometimes. Depends on what they're looking for. Yeah, for some of them we've done workshops before, some of them we don't.
So tell me about an experience where you did a workshop with one of those groups, and, you know, what was the reaction? What was the outcome of that?
For me, I always talk about this when we work with, especially the at-risk youth, is that when I was working over here at Sanctuary Arts Center, and I did a couple workshops there and a couple little shows, the kids would walk in, and they are homeless street kids at risk, and they walk in and they've got the hoodie on and they're here. And that's pretty much where it is. And by the end of an hour, they're here. And that, it's like, okay, you know what? You may not walk away with anything else here. But the truth is, if I got you to actually start to make eye contact with people and talk to them, that's powerful. And that's one where it's like, you know, great, I don't care if anything else happens. You lifted your head up for a minute and talked to somebody. That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Good job.
Yay, thanks.
Yay. Yeah, yay. It's doing good in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it all is.
Yeah.
You know, but it's moments like that, I think, where it's just like, wow, somebody really got something.
And I think it's moments like that, too, that make you then, it makes me feel like the performing means more.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah, great. Okay, so you've been doing this for quite a while, decades at this point.
Yeah. Got that.
Do you ever have doubts about what you're doing, your value as a artist, as a person, as a businessman, all that kind of thing? And what do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we always sort of, at least I always feel like there's just the question of like, could you be doing more? Could you be affecting more? Could you be changing more? I'm involved with the University District Partnership here, so we're sort of the leadership organization that has a new business improvement area, a lot of funds coming in order to help make the district more clean, more safe, do events and marketing, urban design, urban planning, and all of this has come into place after the light rail station has sort of getting worked on, so we figured we better kind of draw together as a community and figure this out. To me, that's another step of doing something both to further the company, Jet City Improv, but also to do that because this is where the company is and this is where our core constituency is, and why wouldn't you want to make the world a better place? Yeah. And, you know, it's hours and hours of volunteers and meetings and people yelling at you and all kinds of stuff, and it's like, yeah, but, you know, you're making the world a better place, and that's why you do it. You know, sometimes you got to do those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an artist, as a creator, you know, it's a hard trip. It can be a very difficult trip. You know, you've been quite successful with this, seems like. Lots of people out there struggling. Why do this? Why do it?
That's the big question. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, even with all this, I still ask that question constantly because I'm not, you know, every once in a while good jobs come along that are outside and something happens and it's like, yay, I have some financial solvency, and then you don't. And so you always have to ask yourself why you do it and what you get out of it. And then also, is that going to continue to serve you as you get older? Is it going to continue to serve you in the position you're in, and constantly reevaluating? Those are those are hard parts. Again, if you're not honest with yourself about why you're doing it, then you get stuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay, so if you were to speak directly to the aspiring improv actor, painter, photographer, filmmaker, anybody out there who's trying to do their thing, to give them your not effing around philosophy, just lay it on me. What would you tell them to go from wherever they are to wherever they want to be?
The biggest one is that you always have more resources than you think you do. I think this is kind of one of the biggest things from running a nonprofit too, is it's not just your cash flow, it's your resources. And your resources are people, they are the building, they are anything else you have. I feel like a lot of time actors get out and they don't realize, oh, I have all these friends, or I know these other people that are actors, and you know what? I can make some pasta. Hey, why doesn't everybody come over and we're going to read a play? Great. What's going to happen from that is you just kind of, I hate to sound all woofy-floofy about it, but you put energy out into the world that you want something to happen, and it continues to happen. And then more people continue to do that, and you continue to just have new things happen. But you have to start somewhere. You've got to do it. The other one that I liked is just the looking at where you want to be or where you think you want to be. And then going, great, who is it who kind of is there? Is there anyone that I know that sort of knows them? Is there anyone that maybe I could take out for coffee and just talk to about it? Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and I really want to know what your experience is. That's it. Can I buy you coffee? Great. At least then that starts you on a path. And if you don't start on a path, you're not going to end up somewhere. So go have coffee with people. It's cool. Just email them. It's all right. It can be out of the blue. Even Peace was like, hey, talk to Jeff. Okay, great. Cool.
Now you're sitting in a little yellow room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But, why not? Yeah, because where's it going to lead you? I don't know. But you always have friends and people that you know that can connect you to someone. And then that person could have some gem of advice that might help you to move forward some way.
Which reminds me of what you were saying before about the offer. Everything is an offer.
Everything is an offer. You're going to get something from that meeting. If nothing else, you're going to get, more than anything else, I've had meetings with people where people are like, I don't understand why are you doing that? Why would you do this? Well, I don't know, but I'll wait and see. And, 6 months down the line, next thing you know, the phone rings and they're like, oh, we want you to come out and be a speaker at this leadership seminar. Okay, great. I was referred by someone I had coffee with because they wanted to meet with me to talk about something. Lovely. It all comes back around somewhere,
It does.
You just got to do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Andrew. That was fantastic.
Yay, thank you.
You're NFA.
Woo!
Love it. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks.